preparatory movements. So there's some basic preparatory movements that need to be mastered before we approach the more advanced postures. This should be approachable for all levels. It's imperative that you listen to your body and only do what is appropriate for you. So this includes some circular movements and dynamic stance work. And so let's jump right into the practice.
So we'll begin standing. Please bring your heels together. Your toes can be slightly apart and your hands are on your lower belly. Make sure to drop your tailbone down to your heels and lift up on the back of your neck. Let your shoulders and your jaw relax. And then we'll step the feet apart and we'll begin with an exercise called knocking at the door of life. This is a Qigong exercise which will warm up and stimulate your entire body. You want to relax and swing your arms, and your back hand is going to tap on an acupressure point right there at the kidney area of the lower back. Let your shoulders be relaxed and your arms will swing loosely. You can turn to look over your shoulder and just enjoy the twisting motion. You will be able to feel this throughout your entire body, and you can do this in your practice for as long as it feels nice to you. My front hand is tapping my hip bone, and the back hand taps the Mingmen point at the kidney. Now we're going to switch. The front point is going to be right there below the clavicle. There's a little hollow called the shoulder's nest. It's the top of the lung meridian, and we'll tap there. Keep swinging, keep tapping, just relax and enjoy the twist. For our next movement, we'll do hip circles. So your legs will stay more or less straight. And you want to have the sense that your tailbone is drawing a circle on the floor. Try to get the movement completely in the hips and the lower back. And just enjoy this movement. It should be relatively easy movement, comfortable movement. And now we'll go in the other direction. The shoulders stay relaxed. Arms are relaxed, the jaw is relaxed, and we're just focusing on the midsection and lower back area as we circle our hips. Our next rotation will be the neck. So please stay within your comfort zone on this one. Many people have very stiff, very tight necks. So you're essentially going to be dropping your ear toward one shoulder, drop your chin, and then take it back. We're going to go in both directions, and the rotation can be anywhere from 10 times to more if you like. It really is self-determined based on what your body needs. When you're circling your neck, you want to be careful that you're never pushing or forcing anything. And that goes for this entire practice. It's more of a listening and a working with your body, as opposed to trying to impose or force something upon your body. The next rotation will be shoulder rotation. So we'll bring the shoulders up around the ear and then back and down. And as you can see, I'm allowing the rest of my body to respond to the movement, but I'm not necessarily intentionally moving the rest of my body. I'm just focusing on rolling my shoulders. And now I'm going in the other direction. Next movement will be wrist circles. And so here we're going to roll around our bracelets. So if you look at your wrists, you'll see these little lines where the arm meets the hand. And we call those bracelets. And what you want to do is keep those together, keep those bracelets touching and roll around them. And making sure that you bring your wrists into full flexion and full extension. It might be an unusual type of movement, but it is necessary to warm up your wrists completely. Our next movement will be ankle circles, and we're going to stretch and rotate our ankles. Now, please don't worry if this is difficult for you, if this is your first time attempting this exercise. What you want to do is tuck your toe, get a stretch in the top of the foot, and then do your best to rotate in circles in both directions. If it feels uncoordinated to you, don't worry, it's normal. And the idea is just to cultivate the movement, mobility, and flexibility of our ankles. For the next movement, we'll bring our legs all the way together. Bend your knees, place your hands above your knees, and make some circles. Now this will be some work. You will feel your thighs working, and we want this. We do not want to feel pressure in the knee. We want to invite the thigh muscles to work. We go in both directions, and then we do this Charleston-like movement that I'm showing. We also want to be aware of how the sole of our foot is contacting the floor and make sure that it's even. Please make sure that you do the same number of rotations in each direction, since I'm not counting aloud for this practice. And also make sure that you're bending your knees enough so you can feel your thigh muscles engage. And now we're going to take a rest. So if you can't bring your hands to the floor, it's no problem. You can use a brick, or you can fold your hands and rest them in your elbows. This is just to give ourselves a little break after all those leg circles. For the next movement, we're going to step one foot back, take the other hand behind the back, and just swing and throw the arm as if you were kind of pitching a softball pitch. Just really let your arm go and just let it swing. And this is just another variation of the shoulder rotation. Moving right into the next movement, we'll take some cross kicks. So place your hands on your shoulders, do a couple little twists, and then knee to elbow, and then kick across the body. So it's not really important if you're super flexible or if you can keep your legs straight. The main idea is we're twisting and we're kicking across the body. You want to keep your navel tightly drawn in while you're doing this exercise, if possible. Amazing work. You guys are doing a great job. Now we're going to step the feet wide, open the arms, and we're going to take a cross toe side lunge. So one leg will bend and you're keeping your back straight. You're just going to reach down to touch your toe. So this is going to work the thigh of the bent leg, and you're also going to feel the entire core muscles, the center abdominal muscles activate, and we want to feel this. So now we'll come into horse stance. This is a martial arts stance, and it creates this global activation of your entire lower body, including your thighs and your lower abdominals. And it activates a flow of energy called a prana, apana vayu in Sanskrit, which is the downward moving wind. As you can see, my tailbone is dropped, my kidney area is open. And here I'm doing the holding the tree variation. It's important in the horse stance that your knees are pushed back. You can lift your toes to make sure that the ball of the foot's working to the floor, and you want to drop the tailbone down behind you, keeping the kidney area open. That's very important. And now we're going to do some Qigong movements where we're stroking the meridians. So it's just down the front of the body, pull the chi up to the eyes, and press forward. Doing your best to maintain the stability and the solidity of the legs. Navel is pulled back. Drop the tailbone down to the floor. Inhale, coming up, opening the arms. Nice big inhale, stretching, and then exhaling into the forward bend. And this forward bend should feel really good after that horse stance, because that is a lot of work for the legs. So just let your head hang. If you need to bring your hands onto a brick, that's fine. If you need to slightly bend your knees, that's okay. Ultimately, this is a straight-legged pose, but just work wherever you are and be kind to your body. That's the most important. As we inhale, we'll draw our hands up the legs. I've slightly turned my toes out before I came up. And then I'm just going to exhale, grounding the chi down to the earth. And I'm going to step my legs all the way together, crossing one hand over the other. And I'm going to pull my hands up, turn my fingertips toward you, and up overhead. And now we're going to take a side bend. So see if you can make sure this is purely a side movement, that you're not leaning forward, you're not leaning back, you're just opening out that side of the body. Let the shoulders drop and relax, and then we'll go into the other direction. You can actually turn and look underneath your armpit a little bit if that feels comfortable to you. And one more round on the side bends. This time we'll cross the other hand in front. You can see that kind of weird way that I pull my hands up. I don't really rotate my wrists. I'm just turning my fingertips forward, and then I'm going to take a side bend. There, I switched my hands at the top. But the main focus is opening that side body. I bring my hands down, open up wide, and then exhale into the forward bend. Just let your head go, and doing your best to keep your legs all the way straight. Forward bend, I'm going to turn my toes out slightly. Hands come to the top of the feet. They slide up the legs. Inhale, reaching up, gathering energy, and then exhale back into the horse. As always, making sure my tailbone is dropped as we prepare for our dynamic stance. Swing your head and shake your tail, Qigong. You have to kind of manage your feet a little bit. So please watch as I am going to dip my head. I take my shoulder to my knee, and then I turn my back heel out as I come up into a kind of warrior stance, but I keep my hands down on my legs. So please observe the way that I'm moving my feet. My shoulder comes to my knee. I turn my back foot out, I turn the other foot in, and I come up onto the other side. And it's just a continuous movement. Try to tune into the flow of this movement. As we're circulating chi, we're circulating prana in this dynamic stance. We come to the center. If you're able to interlace your fingers, please do so, and stretch over the head. When we're ready to come up, we're going to back off on the shoulder stretch, turn the toes out, slide the hands up the legs, inhale, gathering chi, and exhale, stroking it down the front of the body. And we'll bring down the heavens, stroking down the front of the body. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. Exhale, this is just smoothing your energy field. Exhale, smoothing down the front, getting rid of any kind of agitation or irritability. And this movement is very frequently done in Qigong because most of us need to bring energy out of our head and down into the body and right into the earth. So it's a movement to get out of your head, essentially. Now it's time to turn our feet out, slightly. If you're stiff, you can take a wider stance. We're going to do a dynamic squat. Now please be careful. You only go down so far as your body says it's okay to do. Now this is one reason why we've warmed up the thighs so much with the knee circles and the horse. And please do not allow your heels to come up. You can only go down so far as you can keep your heels down. If we've warmed up our legs properly, then this will be no problem for our knees. It does require you to have some nice open hip joints, as well as extremely flexible ankles and Achilles tendons. So if you stay with me working with yoga, then we will definitely get to that. But please be patient with yourself with a squat. But this is one of the basic preparatory movements that need to be mastered in order to progress with the other advanced yoga asanas. So here we have our chair, and so you can hold on and then you can gauge how far down you're going to go in this squat. But ultimately we'll be going down all the way into the full squat. And this has a lot of benefits for your health, including preventing and addressing low back discomfort, improving your digestive capacity. This movement is essentially a posture that will unlock and unblock your entire body. Next, we'll place our hands and step back into downward facing dog, or Adho Mukha Svanasana in Sanskrit. This posture does require a lot of flexibility in the hamstrings, so if your knees don't straighten all the way, don't worry. Just do the best you can. Keep your breath moving in and out. Try to straighten your elbows and your knees. Let your head go. If you need to come down and rest, please come down and rest. Otherwise, if you're still in the dog, I want you to practice breathing, nice deep breaths, and on the exhale, please draw your navel into your spine as much as possible, dropping your head and striving to open your knees and elbows. Now we'll come to the hands and knees for the cat rolls or the cat-cow. And this is normally a very delicious position where you can really enjoy the full flexibility of your spine, rounding as much as possible and then arching. In this posture, we get to open the posterior aspect of our vertebra when we round for the cat, and we open the anterior aspect when we arch up for the cow. So it's wonderful for the spine. The next movement that we'll do is called threading the needle. So from your cat, you want to reach under, it's kind of a twist, and then you open that arm. So this really works your upper body and your spine. So it doesn't take a lot of strength, but it does ask you to twist your body, and you will feel this a little bit in your abdominals. And finally, we'll come to sitting on our heels. It's a kneeling position. Your toes are tucked. It requires a Big stretch in the back of all of your toes, and this posture will trigger flexibility throughout your entire body. If it feels intense, don't worry, you're not alone, and it will pass with practice. Pushing into a forward bend, we'll relax for a few minutes, opening out the backs of the legs, a few nice deep breaths. And please feel free to drop your head here, let everything go. Rolling up on the inhale, bring the hands to the heart. Exhale, press to the floor. And then to finish, we'll bring down the heavens 3 times. So we'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, stroking down the front of the body. Inhaling. Exhale, imagine that you're pulling energy from the sky through your body and down into the earth. One more, just smoothing everything out and exhaling. Then we'll take the energy and reground it back into the lower belly, coming right back to where we started. At this point in the practice, although I didn't show it, I recommend taking a comfortable seated posture and sitting or lying down in Shavasana, the corpse pose, for at least 5 minutes to let your prana settle. Thank you so much for joining me today.
So I hope you found that helpful. If you would like to connect with me for private tutoring or have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the practice today. Namaste.